All right. I seen a video or see some clips from the UFC White House event, and I'm seeing motorcycles flying in the air doing, flips. I'm seeing all the theatrics and things like that, and I'm like this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what patriotism is now. This is what we're going for. This is these are the optics that we want to send out to the world about America. Is this what's making America great again? Somebody tell me. I can't believe it. Every day, Trump and MAGA, his MAGAlings, his MAGA underlings, his worshippers, every day they do something that's just like, damn, man, they're just dragging us slower and slower into hell. They're just dragging us along into, a bigger and bigger punchline. And in 2008, if you told me, George Bush wasn't going to be the worst president, I wouldn't believe you. I'd have been like, man, you got to do some hard work to out bad him, man. But Trump is doing it. He is doing that, man. He done fucked up the whole Iran situation, man. Try to start a war with them and try to, apparently thought they were going to be you know, some easy chess move to take care of. And boy, now they're telling him you gotta pay, billions of dollars to repair this country. That's gonna be part of our deal now. Now he's trapped inside of that situation with Iran. And then, it's a bunch of other fuckery that this guy's got his uh involved in. You know what I'm saying? And that on top of Epstein files, not releasing the Epstein files the way he said he was going to do it. You know, and then of course, he's in them, of course. And along with a lot of other people. Um, it's been a shit show, man. It has been a shit show with Trump. He's just man. This is like this is like movie bad. When you're in a movie and they're just like a stereotypically villainous type of guy who just goes out his way to be a dickhead. Like he's like a movie villain out here, man. Just out here doing everything no one wants to see, and golfing and not giving a fuck, and just blabbering on social media, bragging about himself and how great things are gonna be, and you know, straight up lying about certain things, and it's just something else, man. Trump is he has taken the integrity out of the presidential position, man. Like I gotta learn some like Roman leaders. I gotta see like who do you compare this guy to historically, leader wise? Like, can you compare him to um, what's this guy, the Emperor Nero? Or do you compare him to Caligula? Like, who are we gonna compare this guy to historically to see how bad he is? Because man, he is he is something. I'm wondering how we're gonna hear about this in the history books, man. Ah, whatever. They're gonna put some. We're gonna have Elon Musk bullshit books in the future, so it doesn't matter. You know, we're not gonna have books at all. We're gonna have a bunch of fucking tablets. Kids aren't gonna read them. and reading is gonna be a rich people privilege or some shit. Like that's gonna be the real future. The kids ain't gonna be paying attention to no textbooks. So whatever, I guess people pay attention to memes and clips and sound bites more than they'll pay attention to real textbooks. So who knows what the future is gonna look like? That's kind of scary, man. Like thinking about the uncertain future and seeing how we're in a world where a lot of people don't give a fuck. They just we don't really give a fuck about you know bad politicians, or we don't care about a bad economy. We don't care that a lot of people can barely barely have livable wages. We just live in a time where it's all everyone's very in their own world. We don't see the bigger picture. No one really trying to, you know, we're not really staying united. So an asshole like Trump, can keep doing what he wants to do. So ain't nobody really pushing back in a concerted way. But then again, now we're in a time where everything is very seems like everything is real fast. You know, we move on to the next story, the next story, and the next story, the next story. So it feels like it's hard to keep up with all the bullshit Trump's doing anyway, or any of these people, Elon Musk, and all these other Jeff Bezos, all these other people, whoever else in the government. It feels like it's hard to keep up with everything they do. So much coming after you that it's like, oh man, it's just exhausting to hear the stupid stuff that comes out of these people's mouths. You know, Trump. Oh my God, I can't keep up with everything he's doing. I can't keep up with the half. I cannot, man. He just does so much stuff that you just you see it, and then you're just like, oh my God. Then you move on. Then you scroll down, and you're just like, oh, this other guy did this. Oh man, Israel. Oh, now Israel doing some other unspeakable acts. Oh, well, now look. Now this guy's doing this in Argentina. Now, it's like there's so much going on. It's like, oh my God, you just can't. They can't do it. I think with this UFC one, that should be like, I feel like if this happened 20 years ago, I am people are talking about, hey, we want the banks to answer for what they've done, and you went out here and created a UFC night, and you're talking about building a ballroom. I feel like we would have went crazy. We would have went crazy. Obama could never have gotten away with none of this shit. Obama could not do not a single inkling of the fuckery or act a little bit of like a brat like Trump, man. There's no way Obama could get away with any of this shit without fucking people going absurd. He had to make sure he was well spoken. He had to make sure that he was dressing right. You know what I'm saying? He had to make sure that he knew what he was talking about. Otherwise, all these supposed, patriots, all these people that act like, they care about America so much, they would have been on his ass. They would have been going crazy. But Trump, he's out here giving out money to Argentina, and ain't shit coming out of it. The money that's supposed to go be for farmers, he will give it to Argentina. It's for like what 20 billion or some shit. That ain't work out. Argentina's still fucked, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. I don't know if any other leaders in the past could have done that. Definitely not Obama. He would have been. They would have. You think January 6th was crazy? They would have ran in that White House, and it would have went down. Obama would have had to have the Navy SEALs, the Bloods, the Crips, everything in front of him in order to keep these rednecks, these inbred bastards, up off of him. you know. And yeah, this guy's Trump is just he has white trashed the White House up. He has white trashed it up. He's out here, uh, you know what I'm saying, making it look like a Jerry Springer show. And yeah, you think people would be more serious about it, you know, the news and stuff like that. You think they'd be like, hey, wait a minute, man. Like, this is America, dude. Like, we're supposed to be a serious country. Like, you don't bring that shit to the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to go to an event, I don't know, fucking go to a muddy drive. You know, go to where they have these, people like riding their monster trucks through mud and whatever the fuck. You know, you want to go to one of those in the South. You want to go to Tennessee, or you want to go to Kentucky. You want to go to fucking Georgia, and partake in that over there. Great, but you're doing that in front of the White House lawn. Wow. And then he goes to the Knicks game. You know, everyone was pissed off about that. You know, he was getting booed. What other president gets booed in his own country, man? Showing up at events. That doesn't. Who does that happen to? You're the active sitting in president getting booed. It's insane, man. I can't tell you how the next 2 years are gonna go, man. But I said 2 years, and this guy's only been in for a year and a half, really. Yeah, we got 2.5 more years of Trump, maybe, because we don't know what he's gonna do on a given basis, man. We don't know what he's going to do. And he has been, people are being coming at his head literally. They've been gunning for his head, so we don't know how long this is gonna go. Then he's got health problems, and all that. So it could end up being JD Vance, taking over. But we don't. Who knows, man? Who knows what's gonna happen, man? All I know is this is a shit show. This is some bullshit. Trump, man, you don't fuck this up. You don't fuck up the economy, man. You're not helping the debt. You're not helping the debt go down. You're cooking the American people. You don't give a shit. And the American people apparently don't. Only your followers, they don't care. And yeah, everyone's divided. I feel like more than ever. It's cooked out here, man. It is cooked. We need a real motherfucker to come in here and be a superhero, man. After Trump is out of here, and you know what? Fuck that. I feel like we Trump has done enough to qualify us to remove him from power, man. An emergency situation should be called, and he should be removed from power, man. You know, uh, Otherwise this country's going to hell, man. American people aren't going to recover. You're just gonna have a bunch of uber rich people. It's already kind of like that. You're just gonna have people who are like super rich. They're comfortable. They don't care. They're gonna be out here acting corny at MAGA events. Like they've been doing, especially in the last couple of years. Trying to act like they're tough MAGA people, and you know, trying to do this to make it seem like they're super American. Like, nah, fuck y'all. Y'all selling this country out, and you're making it. Uh, you're making the wealth gap worse, and you're making it harder for not having a good education for the average American kid is going to be even harder with the way they're fucking up their education, and they're fucking up the health system. Everything's just deteriorating under this administration, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and like they say, America is really now just a third world country with a Gucci belt, man. That's the only way I can sum this up, man. That's what's going on. If you want to partake in this conversation, add your opinion. It's your boy Solo Omen. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? If y'all feel the way I'm feeling, Send your heart out in the comments. Peace.